Page 24, 3 hands together exercises. Things just got hot and heavy. Now we're starting to play the hands at the same time. So now you got to be reading notes in each staff, in both staffs, at the same time. So hopefully you know the names of the notes okay by now. You know the names of the keys on the keyboard. If not, please don't go any further yet. Go back and review, start again, go through it all again, go through all the lessons again, play through everything again, do the play it and say it drills, whatever it takes so you are comfortable with the names of the keys on the keyboard and the names of the notes in the music. Because now we got to deal with both hands playing at the same time. That's a coordination problem. I had problems with that when I was little and first starting it because the hands want to mirror each other. They just naturally do it. And so when you start doing this, some people get it naturally, show-offs. Others, like me, have to work at it. And I'm going to pretend you're going to have to work at it. Because I know some of you will. Some of you won't, but others will. First exercise, I just go through the routine for learning a piece of music. It works pretty much across the board. I look it over, it's one line long. The clef signs are still treble and bass clef. We're in 4/4 time signature, and I see a bunch of quarter notes and half notes and a whole note at the end. Okay. They have these little arrows between the staves. I'll explain, though, that's not part of the music. You don't get arrows in music like that. That's something the author of this book has done to try and help you out. The hands are playing at the same time like that. I do it one hand at a time first. I want to know what each hand is doing. And then I'll try to put the hands together. And a lot of times when I go to put the hands together, it's almost like starting over. I think, did I play this or not? But it still helps to do it one hand at a time first. So let's try that approach. Right hand, the upper staff. They want thumb on middle C. It's the only finger number you need in that hand. Please don't be reading finger numbers. Read the notes. And we're here, we're in this position. And we're just going to play all these to make sure we got it. You see the arrow going up? That's what it means. It means you're going up by steps, next note up in the keyboard, and then you're going back down. Then you go up again and now back down. That's all those arrows mean. I don't pay any attention to them. In my opinion, you don't need them. You can probably notice the notes are going up or down by looking at them. But I make sure I got the right hand okay. And then I'll do the same with the left. Starting little finger here, that puts the hand here. I don't need any other finger numbers. I'm doing this. You just all these notes down here. C. Ends on a C. And then once I have that, I will attempt to put the hands together. Now, when I first put the hands together, or try to, I hesitate all over. I don't care. It's okay. I just want to know which fingers are working together. So we'll take it as slow as we got to. It doesn't matter. We're here with thumb and little finger first. And then these fingers, the middle fingers play together. Then these fingers up here. The third measure, both hands are little fingers. Now that part is easy because now we're mirroring the hands here. Then you get a thumb here and here. These fingers. So you are playing different fingers. So I work that out, and then I go back over it however many times it takes, and I slowly work out the hesitations. So it's a steady beat all the way through. No hesitations. Also, you want to get to where you can play this without looking at the keyboard, because you got to read, you got to have time to read both notes. And you're reading them very quickly. You're just glancing at them because you should know what they are now. You should know that those first notes are C's. You just glance at them. I'm looking at both notes one at a time. I can almost see them, but I have to look at each note individually. But I can do it very quickly. And I see them, they're both C's, and then 2 D's, okay, and then they're both E's, okay, and then they're both F's. And I know where my hands are, so I'm thinking about all this going on at the same time. It takes time and practice to get where you can do that without having a nervous breakdown, more or less. So take your time with it. Go slow. Speed is not important. Just take your time with these. They're no big deal. It is a big deal when you play hands together. It really is. I get to where you work out the hesitations and it's all a steady beat at some speed. And then I just do everything else in the process, which they don't give you anything. There's no articulation, there's no dynamics, there's no speed given, no nothing. You can put in the natural accents though. Always do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Exaggerate them if you need to. Drop the wrist on them. Stay loose on this. I can put in phrasing if I can feel it. To me, the first two measures were a sentence, a musical thought. So I could do that, I could lift up after the half notes. Lift up. Yeah, I can do that. So you can do more than just what the music is saying. Don't just say, okay, I got these notes, let's go on. Please don't. You're missing out on most of what music is about. Feel it, get into it, even with an exercise. Now the second line, look it over, let's go through the process. It's one line long, clef signs are treble and bass clef, 4/4 time signature. Now both hands are playing together. We got half notes, quarter notes, whole notes. I'm going to take it one hand at a time first to make sure I understand what each hand is doing. The right hand, you're starting here, that puts the hand here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now do this with the right hand. Then I do the same with the left. You're starting here. That's the only finger number you need because you're in this position. And it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1. Oh, this is exciting. 4. 1. Okay. So once I have the left hand working, more or less, then I'll try putting the hands together and see what happens. Again, I might hesitate all over. I don't care. I'm just trying to get the hands to work together. So we're here in C position. And we start at little fingers. 1, 2, then here. These are together. And then these are together. And then here. These, and these. Those are together. So I go through it a few hundred times or whatever it takes, and I slowly work out the hesitations. And I get to where I can play this without looking at the keyboard. I can remember where the hands are. And again, when you're reading both staves, you're reading one note at a time in each staff, but you're doing it very quickly. So at the beginning, I see it's a G. I have a habit I start at the top, and the music is built from the bottom up. But I have a habit of starting at the ties. G, C is what I'm seeing. The notes, G, C. I just look at each one. I know what they are. And then the C is held. And then the next one, I got an E in the. So I'm studying the notes in both staves, but it only takes an instant, assuming you know what the notes are, which hopefully you've been working on that up to this point, and you do by now. If not, you really need to go back and get it where it's automatic before you start going on. You're going to be lost. Now, once I do that, get rid of the hesitations, the articulation, the phrasing, the here, lift up. That's the phrasing they're offering. Well, okay. In the left hand, there's no nothing. Uh-oh. Well, there's different ways of doing this, because if they don't give you anything, it's up to you. I could lift up if I wanted to. Lift up, there's nothing to say anything. However, I'm going to encourage you, because I know you're getting this so well, is I'm going to ask you to connect the left hand all the way across. Don't lift up at all. You have to lift up for the repeated note, but just a little lift. So I'm going to lift up in the right hand, but I'm going to leave the left hand alone. I'm lifting up here, but here I'm connecting it. Again, I'm lifting up here, but I'm going to connect that. See? So it is this. See? So I'm doing different things in the hands. We have to develop the ability to do that on piano. So on top of everything else, we got to start working on that too. Now, if you're struggling just to get the notes, then forget the phrasing and all that. Just get the notes. But you eventually want to get to where you're comfortable enough that you can do the phrasing and the whole bit. And once I have that, I think about the dynamics. It starts out soft, P, piano soft. Then in the third measure, you get the crescendo arrow to get louder gradually, and then you're loud in the last measure. So you have to think it out. In that third measure, you're starting soft, loud. Now, don't get loud to the last measure. Here, it's only one measure. You can probably do it with each note, just a hair louder. You're gradually using a little more weight on each one. Here. Yeah, just then the last measure is heavy because it's loud. Now, I can do more with dynamics right now, but I'm not going to. I've thrown so much at you. Let's just see if we can get this. So you're soft at the beginning. Start soft. So the left hand can play louder too. Yeah. At whatever speed you choose. Now the last one. Let's see what we can do down here. So I'll just go through the routine. I look it over. It's one line long. The clef signs are still treble and bass clef. The time signature is 4/4 time. I see quarter notes and half notes. The rhythm's a little different in the hands. We've had that before, and both hands are playing at the same time. So I'm going to take it one hand at a time first so I can understand what each hand is doing. The right hand, you're starting third finger on E. That puts you in this position. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all the right hand's doing right there, okay? Left hand, doing a little finger here, we're in C position. It's quarter notes. 4. I've actually taken two different songs and put them together. See, each hand is playing a different melody. However, when I go to put the heads together, and first I'm probably going to hesitate all over. I don't care. I just want to know which fingers are working together. So it's here, and then here. These are, and then here. And then hold the right hand down. It's a half note. And then do it again. Now here, up to third measure, here. These, and then these, and these. And do that again. So I got the hands working together. Then I go back over it, however I need to, and get rid of the hesitations. A steady beat at some speed. Nice and slow is fine. Because you can always speed it up later. First, we get rid of the hesitations. Never allow hesitations to continue. Never think, well, I'll fix that later. That was minor. Hesitations are not minor. They're major. So get rid of them immediately. Because even after you've worked out a hesitation, it'll come back. Or can come back. Or you get new hesitations. So never let them stick around, because if you do, you end up practicing them and they become part of your playing. So you'll think, well, when I perform it, I won't hesitate. Yes, you will. I've heard people do it all the time. I've done it myself before I learned how to practice properly. Get rid of the hesitations. Now, once I can play the notes okay, I think about the articulation, and here they don't give you any. Well, if you can figure out where the phrases are, you could do that. It's almost like in the right hand, it's every measure. But the left hand, I don't know if it's every measure or not. Maybe it is. If it is, you lift up. Yeah, so maybe that works out for the phrasing, and both hands happen to be the same. That's nice. Then the dynamics. All right, this is what I was trying not to tell you about in the previous exercise. Here they're giving you two dynamics, a P and an F. They kind of need two dynamics in this example. Most of the time in music, it'll be like on page 25 at the beginning, you have an F at the beginning, and that's it. One dynamic, that's it. That's how it normally works. But in this exercise, we have two melodies, two different songs going. So they're telling us a dynamic for each song. That's okay. The point is, they want you to play the top staff soft. Very light, very little weight. They want you to play the bottom staff loud or heavy. Let the wrist claps on these. And you're going to do that at the same time. Good luck. The idea is to get accustomed, or to start working on getting accustomed to playing one hand heavier and then the other. And it could be either hand. Here the left hand is heavy. Normally it's the right hand that's heavy and the left hand is light. Here they want it this way. So that's something else to start working on top of everything else. One hand is heavier than the other. Now let's go through and play all three of these slowly together. I'm not going to do the louds and softs. I'm going to give us 4 counts, and I'm going to go straight from one line to the next because they're all in 4/4 time. So we're going to do these as though they're all one long piece, just for the play with me. We're just checking the notes and the rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. Did I say that already? I can't remember. So start with the first line and then go straight to the others. 1, 2, ready, go. 4. 1, 2, 3. To the next line. 1, 2, 3. 2. Last line. 4, 3, 4, off.